Welcome to the second programme about improving organisational productivity. In this programme, we're going to examine the role and the future of Human Resources Department. Does it add value, or is it just a necessary cost? I'm pleased to welcome back to the show Dr. Tony Miller, author and productivity expert.
Thank you.
Is HR still viewed as a cost, mainly responsible for routine administrative work?
Well, I think the truth is yes. I think if you go look around the world, I think most HR departments are still really personnel departments. A lot of their work is purely routine, and they just buy in ideas from consultants. But however, that's not what the business wants from HR. The businesses nowadays want HR to be a true business partner.
In your new book, The Human Resource Function as a Business Partner, you set out a number of changes that HR can make to fully contribute to the organisation. What are the challenges and benefits that HR can bring over the next 5 years?
Well, I think the biggest challenge that HR has got is to improve itself to meet the business requirements. The businesses around the world want HR to be a business partner, and I think HR has got to make sure that it uses the new HR strategic model, that it can talk business language, and it actually gets itself into a position where it's producing business results. So really it's very bright times ahead for HR, providing it can change.
What are the global trends changing HR?
Well, it's all about efficiency and productivity. Everybody wants more for the same cost, and everybody is being driven to produce better results. And HR, of course, is not left out of this. So HR is being swept up in a world trend, which is efficiency, but whether or not it can stand up and do that type of work remains to be seen.
In your previous book, you talked about the latest techniques in workforce planning. What new tools and techniques do you recommend should be implemented with HR departments in companies?
Well, certainly HR has to be a business partner. It has to understand strategy and how strategy works. It has to be the master of costs, which means that HR has to be far more mathematically minded. And as I've said earlier, HR has got to be able to produce more results which are financially based.
In terms of trends, can you name 5 or more HR trends that we will see during the next year and next year?
Well, I think if you had to think of the big 5, I would say the first one is differentiation. Differentiation is quite exciting. It's certainly not new, but the concept is very, very apt now. And that is paying people for what they actually do in the organisation, not by job title, but what they actually do in terms of being productive. So we would cut the organisation into 3 types of employees: poor performers, average performers and talented people, and they would be paid completely differently, and their terms and conditions of service would be very different. So the world would belong, if you like, to the talented people, but the opportunity to get there is with everybody. It's just a question of how hard you want to work. The second is right sizing. We've dealt with right sizing on our previous interview. Recruitment is very hot in my heart, this one, because recruitment is without doubt a key HR process. It can't be outsourced, it shouldn't be outsourced, and it is something that HR has got to master. The quality of people you bring into the organisation will determine the organisation's future. That all happens with effective recruitment. Performance appraisal is another one. Now here is a very interesting process, because with virtually no extra cost you can change the whole way performance appraisal works. If you ask most managers how the time is split up at performance appraisal, they'll probably tell you 70% of the time is looking back, mainly at mistakes and things that could have been done better, or where the employee has failed to meet targets. Well, we can't change the past. The new way of looking at this is to say, forget the past, quick recap, But let's look to the future and let's see what we can do to make each employee really successful. One of the changes here will be you would train people before an event rather than traditionally train them after, which doesn't make any sense at all. So there's a huge difference that could be made to an existing process and at virtually no extra cost. And the final one is that HR should be a value centre. If you think of HR looks at the human resource, and if we believe that the human resource is our greatest asset, then the department that's responsible for it, HR, should be a value or a profit centre and show each year what innovations and techniques it's brought that will actually help the human resource to perform better and more competitively.
In terms of future skills that are most important for the future of HR and improvements, can you name some of them?
Yes, it would certainly be things like strategy and understanding strategy and how strategy works, producing financial value and be able to demonstrate value. And HR, I think, will also have to develop a complete range of consultancy skills, because in the future, HR will be more as a business partner and consultant within the business.
What other skills will be important in future?
In the future, well, the ones that I've already mentioned, plus I think we would have to see HR raise its game. HR has got to be a department full of specialists, real specialists, rather than what they're very proud to say now, we're all generalists. So the area of specialisation, the age of specialisation, is going to come to HR soon.
So can you give me an idea what kind of salary, what kind of earnings an HR professional can make?
Well, if you look at the man who's supposed to be earning the most in HR, it's Dennis Donovan. He's with Homebase in America. He's earning upwards of $6 million a year. And if you look at the people in the top 10, they're all earning millions of dollars. Now, they're not doing that by doing administrative work and the run-of-the-mill HR stuff. They are actually people who can deliver financial results through people and who understand the business and who are true business partners.
Dr. T, thank you for your time and your answers. In our next programme, we will examine the role of training. Very expensive, but does it produce measurable results?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.